Welcome to this episode of Oh By The Way, on location here at Olivia's house, Hanover. We have been writing and posting pictures and talking about Olivia's house, Hanover for the last 6 months, but now we are officially here and going to show it to you today on film.
I love the fact that we're starting out in the welcoming room because that is exactly what we do. We welcome the children and their families in. This is a special room made possible through a donation from Stacy and Dylan Lissette and their family. They are a very special family to Olivia's house. And we have this incredible mural featured in their room. It's called the Giving Tree Mural. You might remember, if you've ever been to the York facility, you might remember this one in our library. So we have it here in our welcoming room. Just to note that this is a community-built grief center. We are 100% funded from the community. We have no big corporations behind us. We are independent and freestanding, and we are really a center for the community built by the community. So all of these leaves, the 20 that we have up right now, have names of families, businesses, community civic groups that have gifted Olivia's house $1,000 or more, and we are just so very blessed that they find that this mission is something that they really believe in.
Absolutely. I think that this mural really represents the fact that this community supports Olivia's house and is thrilled that they're here now. We're here now in Hanover. I also love the fact that you're standing in front of your leaf as part of your pledge to be one of our mortgage angels, our first mortgage angels. And that's such an important program because so often folks don't recognize that it costs money to have the lights on and the heat on, but also to have a building. Right. So we have created the Mortgage Angel program so that folks can once a month pay that mortgage for us and make sure that our doors stay open for the kids and we don't have to charge for our services. So you are one of our first mortgage angels, and we're always looking for mortgage angels. So what a great place to be. Anyhow, continuing along with our tour today, so we're going to show you some of the fun rooms here at Olivia's house, Hanover. And one of the first ones is right here to my right. It's our miniature world, sponsored by the LaCrone family. It is our sand and water room where the little ones and even the adults can come in and play and use the miniatures to tell their story. Such a great room. If you're familiar with our York facility, our miniature world is actually down in the basement. So I love here in Hanover that it's right on the main floor and right off the welcoming room so kids can come in, feel welcome, and then go to work playing. So I'm here now with Jim Poster, our development director. Hope you all know this guy. On the second floor, which is our programming floor mostly. And this is our elementary playroom, sponsored by the Eckert and Knoll families. And I think it's especially a fun room because there's so much going on in here. And not to mention the mural, which I know is one of your favorites, Jim.
It really is. It's an incredibly unique mural for Olivia's house. And compared to the murals at both the centers, it's pretty neat. It was done by a Hanover artist named Dirk Shearer. And Dirk came up here and he stared at this blank wall for, felt like weeks, but it was probably about 2 days. And after about 2 days, he finally penciled in all the animal lines. And then he sat back down and stared at the mural again for probably another day or two. And then he finally put all the color in where he wanted it, and it just came out amazing. And the neat thing about the mural, too, is that we're actually using it in our programs. For instance, when our first group of preschoolers came up here, night one of the program, they were running up and down the hallways and full of energy, and our companions had an idea, and they said, hey, everyone, let's try to see what animals we can see in the mural. And all the kids sat down in their beanbag chairs and stared at the mural, and they said, I see a lion and a giraffe and a hippo and a tiger, and it really reset their brains and got them ready to work in the program. So not only is this mural beautiful, but it's also, we're putting it to work. And I should also say, in this room, all the other walls were painted by volunteers that work at the Home Depot. So they donated their time and materials to come in and help us, which was an amazing thing.
It was incredible, because this is a big room. And for them to come in and paint it, which I thought was interesting because they said we could pick any colors we wanted for this room. And we were trying to design a safari theme, jungle kind of feel to it. So of course we picked the Home Depot colors, orange and white, in the creation. So they were all the more happy to do it. Also in this room you'll see there are a lot of toys, much like in York, just so that the children can play through their grief and tell us of their story through their play. And perhaps they don't always have the vocabulary to tell you how they feel, but they certainly are feeling it. So now they can use these instruments, these tools, if you will, to share that story.
Hi, we're here in the teen suite, which is probably one of our favorite rooms. They're all really, really beautiful, but we kind of had a really fun time creating this room. You'll notice that it's actually 2 rooms because this was an old apartment and this was the kitchen and the dining room. So we thought, what can we do with this space? And we widened the doorway. And we did a lot of renovations in here just to make it special for the teenagers. Oftentimes teens have a hard time committing to coming to a grief group. They don't want to be here. But we know that once we have them here, they'll love it and they'll engage in the group, and they always do. So this room was really important to design in a very special way, and I think we did a pretty good job.
I know it's one of the coolest rooms, although I have to admit, I say that whenever I'm in a different room.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
I
They're
know.
all pretty amazing. But,
That's true. That's true.
This suite was sponsored by Donald and Amy Smith and their family's foundation. So without them, we wouldn't be able to do all these renovations.
Very
so
generous.
They were incredibly generous. And
Yeah.
we have some other neat things in the room that sort of tie it all together with that 24-hour diner theme, including Dane Myers from Tropical Treats donated some of their signs to hang in the room, and we had a gentleman named Marty Mummert, who's an artist out of East Berlin, that came in and did some of the stenciling above the cabinets to kind of continue with that whole 24-hour diner theme. So
Marty's an incredible artist. As I understand it, he did that all freehand.
all freehand, which is amazing.
Yeah.
What a talented guy.
And I think it really does make this kitchen look like a diner. And I think the most important thing about that is letting the teens understand when they're here, it's the back of the house, they're away from everyone else, they have their own coffee bar in here, a refrigerator full of soda and snacks. They pretty much can stay here and not leave this room the whole time they're here, which is really what it's all about. Comfort level. And I think also it's important to remember that teens oftentimes are up all night, which is where we came up with this analogy and this room kind of feel, was that our teenagers oftentimes don't show the grief to their parents or even their peers during the day hours. They're busy with their schedules, but at night it's difficult for them and they can't sleep. Insomnia is a big part of their world, and so they're up all night, and if they aren't on Facebook or watching videos or doing whatever, maybe writing hopefully in a journal, they really don't know what to do with their feelings at that time of night. So we kind of could relate to that, and that's why this diner feel I think was so appropriate.
And I think it came together beautifully.
I do too.
And now we are here in the middle school room, special room, but it looks like something familiar to town, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, if you are anyone who's ever been through Hanover, you've seen these white fences and you know what they represent, the Hanover Shoe Farms. And we kind of thought we should bring a little bit of flavor and history to this room, especially since our middle schoolers work so beautifully with horses in our equine therapy.
Absolutely.
Perfect
And
fit.
we worked with local artist Charlotte Ely and her granddaughter Haley in designing this mural. And actually, she went down to the Hanover Shoe Farms and took pictures of the horses out in the fields and recreated it here on this wall. It's incredible. And this was the first mural that Charlotte ever did. So
That's amazing.
It's incredible, and it turned out beautifully. I love that on this wall, the horses are depicted running and bucking and just so full of energy and spirit, because, oh my gosh, is that not what a middle schooler is?
And yet, on this wall, you've got that tentative, I don't know if I trust you kind of look, and what do you want from me, and what do I have to do? It's just, the horses just embody all of that. And I also think that they bring out the calm. Some of these horses, they look at you in this mural, and you can just see the calm and the sense of safety that they feel, especially behind the fence. Mm-hmm. So this room really does reach out to both sides of that middle school kiddo. And I also think this room is beautiful. It's small, and yet it's quaint and comfortable, and I think the kids are going to really love it.
It creates an environment of safety, and I love that about it.
Absolutely.
And I think that the horses just have that same effect on you. And isn't that just the life of a middle schooler, the dichotomy of wanting to be an adult, yet still embracing your childhood?
Absolutely. We are now in this incredibly unique room we call the family room. It's a very special room because it has the only mural that goes the whole way around the room. It's a 360-degree mural that really depicts the bereavement process in the fact that when we are going through a loss, you know, there are storms, there's bad days, there's good days, the sun comes out a little bit, it goes behind the clouds, and really that's what this mural is stating. And it's also really a special place because this is where the children start their ownership of Olivia's house by signing their name on the wall.
Absolutely. Right now we're in the family room and you'll see the beautiful mural as done by Brett Greiman, but it's just the mural. In about 10 short weeks, it's going to be entirely different as the kids will sign their names, permanent ownership that they've gone through the programs and they've graduated and taking ownership of who they are today. So we're excited to put those names up on the wall. We wish we never had to, but we're glad that we're here to do it now, especially here in Hanover, as we'll be able to serve yet another wonderful community.
I love this room too because it's my place to go to work because I work with the adults in this room. So most people think maybe that you drop the kids off or it's just a child grief center, but it's not. It's for families. And so the adults who accompany the children here also are learning, and I am the lead in that program.
Absolutely. You do great work here with the adults. And really one of the themes of this room was family and how a tree, we have the river birch tree on the mural because we have one in the garden, but that tree, even though it grows up and grows out, we're always connected at the roots. And that's such a great message to send, and the wonderful works you do with those adults in the world of the children is so important.
Most of the adults come in the program thinking, I'm just bringing my children. But then when they learn from us, oh no, you're going to learn too. As a matter of fact, you'll probably learn more than the children. And then you'll be able to keep teaching them as they grow older. They soon realize, wow, this is a really special place and a really important part of the program.
And it's a great room. We facilitated a group earlier this year, and I love sitting in here because you almost feel like you're sitting outside running a group in the great outdoors, the way that the hills are all around you and the wildlife. So it is a wonderful setting.
Not to mention the cafe next door.
And the cafe next door. So Brett did a great job in this room. With that being said, I think we're almost out of time. And that's so unfortunate because there are so many rooms we didn't get to see today. There's the confessional and the lending library and the intake room and the creativity suite and the cafe and just so many other spaces. So if you have the time, we'd love to have you in and give you a personal tour. There are a lot of stories we didn't get to tell also. So please, give us a call and we'd love to show you around. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who made Olivia's House Hanover possible, whether it was construction folks, whether artists and designers and
mortgage angels
and matching partners and everyone. There's so many hands went into making this mission come to life here in Hanover. And I especially want to thank the J. William Wareheim Foundation for granting us their $100,000 match.
Right. That got us started.
And I'm proud to announce that we raised our $100,000 and because of all of that, we are here and we're open and working. So
Absolutely.
Such a great gift.
And speaking of being here, if it weren't for AseraCare Hospice, oh, by the way, wouldn't be here. Perhaps.
Absolutely. AseraCare Hospice Foundation, our video sponsor for this season of Oh, by the way. So we always want to say thank you to them for making this video possible. With that being said, I guess there's nothing else. So I hope everyone has a great month and we'll see you on Oh, by the way next week. So from everyone at Olivia's house.
Have a great week.